mercruiser 3-liter engine. This is the upper end gasket set. Shows you everything that comes with right here. I don't know if you'll be able to read that. There we go. So let's open it up. This gasket set is the HS5719W. There's two sets that have the exact same head gasket that can fit this engine, and the other number is the exact same except for it does not have the W at the end, and the exhaust manifold gaskets are different. So you need to find which one. If you need only the head gasket, you can get either set. And this is the more expensive set for some reason. I don't know why. Exhaust gasket. This is one of the exhaust gaskets. Looks like we got some silicone here. Valve cover gasket. This is forget what they call it, but this is there's a plate that goes on the other side of the engine. This is the exhaust manifold gasket. It comes with, I believe it said it was going to come with two different ones. I only see one. Oh, here's the other one. So this is the one that fits my engine. So this is the one I'm going to use. Here's the head gasket. We got some O-rings. I'm not 100% sure what they're used for yet. Maybe we'll see on here. Highly doubt it. You can look up that part number. It will tell you. In fact, there's a piece of paper in here. It was just telling you how to use the RTV silicone. And we got a carburetor. Well, apparently, this is not the... Well, let's see. There's two of these end cap gaskets for the exhaust manifold. One goes on each end. I don't think I need one of them. We have the carburetor gaskets in here as well. And we got quite a few gaskets in here. And now, the ports right here are really rigid, so you're probably going to nick up your blade really well doing this. So after you do the small area, either save it for last or be ready to use a new blade right after you get done with this small area, because you're going to need it. Memory card got full, sorry. So it's pretty good. Pretty smooth. It doesn't have to be super shiny. You just need to get all the material up, especially around the pistons, between the pistons, and between the different where the water and the oil go in. Those are the biggest things. Like obviously, where the shiny spot is right here, that doesn't matter. The head gasket actually doesn't look like it even goes there. There's a little corrosion right here. It doesn't matter. You do want it smooth everywhere else. You want no material anywhere else. When you're done, put some kind of oil in your cylinders, because and if you use that cleaner, it's going to get all the oil out and your block will actually rust. So put some kind of oil in there, WD-40 or some transmission fluid or motor oil or fogging oil, some seafoam, something like that, to prevent more rust. And I took an air compressor and blew out the cylinders, got all the head gasket material out of there, and then I blew out, this engine is an old engine, so the head bolts actually lead to the water, so I blew out all of those, starting from the end of the block all the way out to where the water pump is. And I think I got most of it out, if not all, so I'm pretty happy with how that went. Next we need to buff off the bolts. It's these are the ones I've already done. These are the ones I need to do next, and I don't know what this is. I don't know if it was some kind of Loctite, or obviously there's some kind of like corrosion on here, and it's kind of like pasty too, so don't know what it is, but we need to buff those off. Take your bolt, turn your wheel on, and I usually start with the threads, work my way up, and then I even do the top, and you need to do this part that's corroded too. And after you do that, turn the wheel off and spray some WD-40 on here and wipe it with a paper towel and get all the gunk off that comes off. I usually spin in this direction since the wheel spins in this direction. That way I can see the clean part right here. You can see the buffed some of the paint off, especially where like most of the corrosion was, but whatever. Surface area on the block is clean. Still need to do the head. I've got a drill here with some wire brushes. You want to clean out your threads, whether you use a tap or whatever you want to do. You can use a like a gun cleaning brush and just put it in there, go up and down. There was some Loctite type stuff. It wasn't exactly Loctite because Quicksilver something seal. It's basically the same stuff, but it's made for marine use. You want to be able to hand thread these screws in and out. If you can't, your torque is going to be inaccurate. So make sure that you clean out your threads. If you can drop your phone and pick it up and it's not broken, and and what I was going to say was, so say you have your bolt and it only threads this far before you can't do it with your hand anymore. If you could put a wrench on it, and you can turn it with one hand like this, I'd say just keep going until you need to stop. Obviously you'd want to stop when you get to the threads, so I'm good. If you can't do it with one hand, your torque is going to be inaccurate because you're going to have so much resistance that you're going to think, oh, I'm at 90 foot-pounds, I'm good, when really it's not as tight as it really should be there. So cleaning the head, I have a drill older than me and a wire brush, wire wheel. This is the half I cleaned. This could be better if you hot tank it or whatever, but you know, it's good enough. It's more than good enough. And then there's this side that I didn't do yet. I do have a wire wheel that I can use, that most of them are flat like this, so you hold the drill perpendicular like this. Actually, I guess the brush is perpendicular. And then there's this one where the wires are straight out, so you can use it for in here, which I haven't used yet, but I was able to, that wheel that I was using was so small, I was able to do a decent job inside here with it, so I'm probably not even going to worry about this one. Let me just show you this real quickly. This is before I took the spark plug out of this one, but this was the before, especially if you look down in the cylinder. This is after. Obviously, I can't get in every nook and cranny, but if you compare this to that, pretty big difference. Time to put the head gasket on. So I got the head gasket here, and to put it on right, you can only put it on one way. So you just line up the proper ports. There's two dowels that will hold it in place for you. Put that in. You have to be careful not to pinch the head gasket. Okay. Looks good to me. Then you want to get, now you're supposed to use Quicksilver thread sealer, Quicksilver something sealer, I forget what it is. I couldn't find it. I went to a couple places and nobody had it, so I went ahead and got some Permatex thread sealant. And if you read it, withstands up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, prevents leakage from vibration, temperature cycling, and extreme pressures, prevents rusting, corroding, and galing of threads, allow parts repositioning after application, and there's information on the back too. I think this will be better than nothing, so why not? So I'm just gonna put it on the bottom of the threads, and it'll go up the threads if it needs it. And you just put all the bolts in finger tight, and then you'll torque them all down to 90 foot-pounds for this particular engine. I'd suggest using a 1/2-inch drive rather than the 3/8. For this anyway. For the rocker arms you can use the 3/8. And then after a couple hours, I've heard two different suggestions. I've heard after a couple hours retorque again. I've also heard drive it for a few hours, try it again. You can check the middle right now and see if it's still 90. It is, so right now it's good. You can check it again later. And let me put the push rods back in. Something I should have done before I put the head on the engine is take a wire wheel I should say, and clean off the old gasket for the exhaust manifold, and also get what I can out of the outlet here. I put this, well actually that valve ain't doing anything. All the valves are still shut, so I'm not going to get anything inside there. If I can blow whatever I get in there out with an air compressor before I open up the valves. Okay. Now, what you do is you remove a rocker arm, keep it in its place, set it somewhere where you're not going to have a problem. Get the push rod that goes in its spot. I like to wipe it off with a shop rag. Put it down in its spot. Get the rocker arm that goes in that spot. Put the nut on finger tight. So what I'm doing is, I didn't read the book, but what I'm doing is snugging them up and just until the rockers don't shake, and then we can rotate the engine a few times and see if they rattle at all or rock side to side. So another thing I'm doing is I loosen it 1, 2, 3 even turns. This is that was set to their configuration. So after I loosen it 3 turns, I see if I can get this push rod in. You need to get the mating surfaces nice and clean. I took a wire wheel on a drill, and also on here, use the appropriate gasket. It doesn't matter which side faces out as long as it fits. And looks like it should fit this way, actually. No, this way. And I don't know if they suggest you use RTV. I simply hate RTV. I'm not going to use it. Actually, that's upside down. And I'm not going to use any of the RTV silicone. Gear oil monitor right here. These bolts may be torqued down to, I believe 20 foot-pounds, but I'm going to double check. Let me go check it out. 23 foot-pounds. And then after the first startup, you re-torque it again. That's not very much. All right, after the first startup, you re-torque it again to 23 foot-pounds again.